Ryan, I'm going to read the words you said because I think it's a great launch point for us to start this conversation. I'm honored to have earned the trust of Flames ownership, of Craig, the GM, the entire management group to coach this team. Because of your path to this post, it's different. They know what they're getting, and they like what they're getting. That says a lot.
Well, it is different, and you don't often, as a coach, get that opportunity to move up within the same organization. You may go from a minor league coach to the assistant coach, but to be able to work for a loyal organization that believes in you, I think there's a lot to be said about that, because it makes me feel like I have greater responsibility now to them as well. So I'm super excited about this opportunity. I really like our group that we do have here, and now it's a matter of getting through this summer. I wish it would speed up a little bit. I know most times people don't say that, but it would be great to get to work sooner than later.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. We're not asking. Summer hasn't even started for some of us. You just relax. Let's let the summer unfold as it's supposed to. Ryan, real quick, one of the challenges I've been on teams that have changed coaches, and for a coach to go from an assistant role to the head guy and maintaining who they are and who they were that the players knew, but also it's a little bit different when you're the head coach. It's a different dynamic as far as relationships go. How do you manage that transition?
Well, I think with my path along here, I've had to take a variety of steps along the way. And one of the things that was important for me was earning their trust. And I was able to do that from junior to the American League, from the American League to an assistant coach, where you spend time with, in my role last year and the years prior, was working with the defenseman in the penalty kill. So you earn their trust. Now it's my responsibility to earn their trust in a different way. So yes, how you handle them will be a little different. My personality won't change. I think it's just a matter of making sure they understand where I'm coming from. So for me, players always want to know that a coach is prepared. So he'll put them in the best situation where they can have success. So that's number one for me. And then it's consistency. They have to know what they're getting from me on a daily basis, both as an individual and as a team. And then once that's been established, I don't believe there's an issue, period.
Ryan, I got a difficult one for you to hit you with. I apologize for that. But everyone wants to know and wants to see how this coaching change can potentially help Jonathan Huberdeau and how to get him back to that production. Obviously, a lot of that's going to fall on the player as well. Can you let us in on anything that, as far as that relationship and what he is as a player?
Yeah, he's an elite player. We know that. You don't put up the points that he put up a year ago when he was in Florida, and I guess there was the most points as a left winger in NHL history, just by fluke. So this is a very good hockey player we're talking about. And I think when he came here, there's all sorts of things that come into play. You're going from a situation where I won't say there's limited media attention, but nothing like a Canadian market. And all of a sudden, he's the central figure here. It's different than when you're in a market like he was previously in. So it takes a little bit of time to adjust, and it's a challenge. But for me, it's making sure I put him in positions where he's going to be successful. And we have a relationship where if I'm looking for something out of him, I'm going to make sure he knows what I'm looking for, and vice versa. He's going to know that I'm going to support him, and I'm going to believe in him and put him in situations where he'll be successful. And that's really what it's going to come down to for me and Jonathan. As I mentioned, I'm a big believer in him and his ability, and I think he's going to be a key member of our team.
I'm going to ask an even tougher question. The A for alternate captain used to be the Atlanta Flames A, and then this year all of a sudden it disappears. You're the guy. You're the guy that can make this thing happen.
You want him to bring it back?
Please bring it back, Coach. I beg of you.
We were in my first year in the minors. It was in Glens Falls, New York, and we had the old, Atlanta Flames type jerseys. They were awesome. We had the big A on them, and they looked so cool. So I understand where you're coming from, and we'll see what we can do.
Thank you.
Well done. You're making things happen, Tone. I like it.
So excited.
I like it. Now, every coach has their own style, but also then their style on how it works with your player. So how would you, if your team is playing well next year, given the group you have right now, what's that team look like?
Well, I'd like to think they're going to be a team that's going to be very quick. We have to play a faster game, and that's something that's important for our group, where we want to give them a little bit of freedom to do what they do best as offensive players, if that's the category they fall in. But there's going to be focus on transition, and there's going to be focus on the Flames brand of hockey, which is still hard work. It's the compete and it's the commitment that we need to see, but we need to make sure we see it as a connected group on the ice, so our defensemen and forwards working together, because that's when I feel like the Calgary Flames teams are at their very best. So it's going to be a fast team, it's going to be a hardworking team, and it's going to be a very competitive team where we want to make it so teams don't like coming in here when we're at home, because of the environment, because of the building, because of the style that we play.
Coach, we see a lot of teams kind of bringing in the classic players from the organization in different types of roles, and we just heard Jarome Iginla being a part of things there. Can you talk about his role and what he means to the Flames community and just that franchise in general?
Well, he is the Calgary Flames. When you think of the Flames, you think of Jarome Iginla, and for what he's done for this organization from the day he stepped into it. He's been the leader. He's been their most offensive, most dynamic player. He's the grit. He's the compete. He brought it all every day. And on top of that, he was the man in the community that was there for everything. He was the face of the franchise. Let's just say that. And I was fortunate enough to play with Jarome in junior hockey, 2 years with him. So he's one of the best guys you'll ever meet. And I think having him back here in a role that he's going to be put in, one, he knows the game, he knows the players, but he also has a real good understanding of everybody that's coming up. So I think he's going to touch all aspects of this organization, including being someone for me to throw some ideas and a bit of a sounding board.
And when you guys all get together, we'll let Connie do the talking, because that Craig Conroy is the guy who's in charge of the talking at all times, right?
We don't have a say in that matter. It's just automatic.
Yeah. So everyone just quiets down. Craig Conroy is the gift of the gab. He's a personal one. So Jarome is added to the organization. That's fantastic news. The rest of your staff. What is the process to kind of fill out your staff, and who's going to be the assistant coaches? How that's going to go?
Yeah, we're hard at work at that right now. So we put together a really good list of people that we're interested in, that we think are very good in their specific areas, and that can balance out me and the rest of our staff that's here. So we're in the process now of touching base and having some conversations with some people to see if there's interest, two, if there's a fit. And I think it's real important that the people that we do bring in, they're able to help our coaching staff learn, they're able to help our coaching staff get better. And the big thing for me is there has to be a connection with our guys in the room. So they have to bring something to the table that's going to make our team better, but they also have to be someone in that dressing room where these players can relate to and they can lean on when they need to.
Flames head coach Ryan Huska, congratulations and thanks for joining us.
Thank you guys very much for having me.